Thanks for checking out this horror film review from the BananaLaser Horror Podcast. You can find our full archive of every unedited show at horrorphilia.com. Also, subscribe to BananaLaser on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube? It says YouTube. Well, click subscribe. Thanks, and keep on banana-ing. All right, lasers, we are back, and we are ready to get this curse thing started.
Yeah.
Let's dive into this. This movie was released in 1995.
A full fucking 6 years, I believe.
6 years. Okay, so, which, and 1995 is crazy because, I don't know if you remember that time, Dave, but horror was kind of in the fucking dumps. I think Scream, when did that come out? In 95 or 96? Was that the same time?
I think Scream came out the next year, because I remember that's the movie that actually I credit with bringing me back into horror. And I'll get into that story in a minute, but...
You know, so this is the early 90s. I mean, the fucking slasher craze had really fucking tanked after 89, 90. It was, you know, it had rode its course, and... I'm glad that they waited so long to make this movie, you know, good or bad. You know, they at least put more thought into it than they did The Revenge of Michael Myers, which, as we discussed, you know, we don't care for. So I appreciate that. Where they take this movie is they had a cliffhanger that to build off of. They had to do it. You know, what do you do with this Men in Black you know, breaking out Michael Myers storyline? You know, good or bad, they had to do something with it, right? If they're going to continue the storyline in a franchise, you know, I don't want to fault them, say it was a terrible idea. I don't know what I would have done with this whole Men in Black thing. I mean, shit, you know, I'm not a writer. But,
I hear you.
You know, so
it's tough.
Who's to say I would have done anything better, you know? So... You know, I actually talked about in the last movie the whole Thorn aspect, or the Men in Black and stuff like that, and leaving, you know, mystery elements. I kind of liked it because it made me interested in the movie, whereas, you know, it had nothing going on in it. So
at least they did something with it. They could have blown it off, you know.
They could have.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been too surprising, especially that it was 6 years later. They could have just completely fucking wiped it out and said, okay, you know.
Yeah, they could have just said, fuck you, you know, or rebooting, which is, you know, what they did a few years later, essentially.
Right.
But they didn't, you know. I mean, this is, and it's strange because, you know, it's more of the 80s, you know, that kind of held on to continuity and stuff like that in those kind of films. Now, it seems like, and even in the 90s, if you're making a sequel, it's like, well, who cares? You don't have to continue storylines. You can just start new almost every time. True. You do a sequel and stuff like that, and it'd be okay. But, you know, they held true. I mean... Yeah,
that's kind of cool. I'll give her credit for that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this is like the last in this kind of sequel. They don't continue the storyline after this.
No, you're right.
And so, you know, this is kind of the last of the original sequels, so to speak.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 basically just tie together.
Yeah.
You know, and then they just ignore it, and 7 and 8 fucking call back 1 and 2. You know, it's a fucked up series, and 3 stands alone. It's very strange.
Yeah, the way I kind of look at it with the whole series, I do a 1, 2, H2O trilogy, and then a 4, 5, 6 trilogy, and then fucking 3 and Resurrection are just kind of standalone kind of flicks.
Well, Resurrection, it follows up H2O.
It does, but it you know.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fucking pimp it whatsoever, I promise you. You know? But do you know, when this movie was out there, Carpenter fucking, the rumors have it anyway, Carpenter was going to buy the rights back. Now, once again, all rumor. I don't know what's fact, what's not. This is just stuff that I came up upon. And Carpenter was supposed to be buying the rights back, and Michael was going to be sent into space. How's that for you?
What? Carpenter was going to do that? No, come on.
That's
got to be a joke, right?
I don't know. Well, remember, he came up with Ghost of Mars around the same time, right? I don't know when Ghost of Mars came out, but who knows? I don't know. I'm just telling you that it was in the documentary I saw. It was mentioned. It was rumors of Carpenter picking it up and it going to space. Whether they're conjoined, I don't know. Whether there was two separate rumors, I don't know. But that was what's going on. Yeah. Then there's the Tarantino thing. He was heavily fucking rumored and supposedly that close to fucking doing this movie.
Yeah, I had heard that as well, but there's no way that he had anything to do with this, right? Because
no, not
the dialogue would have been much different if he wrote any of this.
I don't know if it would have worked. I tell you, as much as I love Tarantino, I'm not knocking him a bit. I don't know if it's I think Robert Rodriguez could have done it. You know, he could do horror, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this movie, I remember watching this for the first time on home video. Back then, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and that's because I didn't like 4 and 5 all that much. Halloween is not a sacred cow series to me. It's not like what Friday is to me, and I didn't really care for 4 and 5, and then 6 I felt like was actually kind of creepy again and scary and stuff like that. Whereas 4 and 5 had none of that element. This one had a more creepy vibe throughout the entire movie, and like the Cult of Thorn, Men in Black, all that stuff. Whether it works or not, that's different. But at the time when I was fucking 17, whenever watching this, I enjoyed it much better than the other sequels.
I definitely enjoyed it more than 4 and 5. There's no question about it. I actually took a sabbatical from horror after being huge into it in the 80s and everything else. By the time this had come around, by the mid-90s, I think it was a real low point for the genre. I was really into the slashers. They were all but gone. It was all supernatural shit, and there's some gems in there, but I honestly think that 90 to 95 was probably the lowest point we had. And I think it stayed low until Scream kind of resurrected it, and then things started to take off in about 2000. So when it came to the theater, after seeing, 4 and 5 opening night and, being into it, didn't even go. I was so out of it at that point that I just didn't go. But I would still, anytime I went to the mall, which wasn't much, I was older and whatnot. If I did go to the mall, I would stop in and look at a Fangoria. Thumb through it, see if there was anything I liked, whatever. And I happened to thumb through a Fangoria one day, went to that store in the mall, opened it up, and the first thing I see was the opening, the first page would always be letters. And there was like 4 or 5, and all they did was talk shit about this movie and fucking The Curse of Michael Myers and how terrible it was and blasphemous and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, well, I'm definitely not going to see it. Now I have no interest. Everybody fucking was trashing it. Then in 2000, I came back from Vegas for a little bit, regrouped before I moved back out. And when I came back, I took a job at Hollywood Video, and I was an assistant manager there. And part of it is you get to rent fucking free movies. So, of course, every night that I left work, and I was just single. I was living with fucking 2 of my buddies. We were like, in our early 30s. You came out with
a stack of movies every night?
I'm telling you. It was cool. It was I was a regrouping, and I was single and everything else, and it was just me living with my 2 buddies. So I just took this movie home, and I was like, this really isn't so bad. Mm-hmm. And I was immediately turned on to the gore. I was like, oh, no shit. Not, it really took me by surprise just because, I was just getting back into horror big time. And everything I heard, the way it was shit on in that Fangoria fucking thing, everybody just really said it was a complete piece of shit. But I had to see for myself, of course. So it just took me by surprise. So that's always been, something I held on to about that. That, I came back in and I watched it and I was like, this shit isn't so bad. I'm not crazy about the Thorn thing, but casting that aside.
No one really likes the fucking Cult of Thorn shit. It fucking shits on, Halloween 1 and well, all of them really, and giving Michael, a motive and all this stuff. To cast that aside, the rest of the movie is good, considering that the Michael that we got in 4 and 5 is not the Michael I want, and this one gives me more of what I want, or at least interesting stuff. He's still out of character. He does out of character things, don't get me wrong, but it's more entertaining in this movie than the other 4 and 5, the other 2 sequels. So
better direction, Because it's the funny thing is, it's George P. Wilbur who we were ragging on, the action figure himself from Part 4, you know?
Yeah, his look is much different in this movie, and
the mask.
The mask, yeah, absolutely. It's a big improvement, I think.
Oh yeah.
Upon 4 and 5, they finally kind of got it sort of close back to the original. I mean, they'll never get that back, but it's not the abomination that was 4 and 5 with the mask. So, as most of you guys probably know, listening to a horror podcast, this movie is infamous for having multiple cuts, multiple edits. You have the theatrical cut, which is more gory and stuff like that, and you have what's known as the producer's cut, which is a heavily bootlegged copy. It's not released anywhere, and it has almost an entirely different ending to the film. It's less gory, and it's entertaining in its own right. I watched the producer's cut for this show, and Dave, I believe you watched the theatrical cut. Is that right?
Yeah, that's all I got left. I bought the Blu-ray, and like I said, I sold my fucking producer's cut because I was so let down by it, all the hype that came into it, and then I watched it. And
if you're interested in seeing a different version of the movie, it will satisfy that on some level.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I'll call it out right now. I think the theatrical cut is better. It's more entertaining. The kill scenes are better. It doesn't completely neuter Michael Myers like the producer's cut does. I mean, he's still part of the cult of Thorn and stuff like that, but by the end of the producer's cut, he's an entirely different person altogether, and so it's kind of disappointing.
That's right. Yeah,
it's kind of disappointing. So
I was so excited. People pimped it up for a while. I don't understand. I was hearing everybody, oh, that's the one to see, producer's cut. Oh,
you know why?
Theatrical is a piece of shit. This definitely improves on this is the way it was meant to be seen. I was like, oh wow, no shit. And I didn't even hate the theatrical. Okay, let me check it out. Then I watched it and I was like, you fucking people are wrong, man. That's what I got out of it. I'm sorry. It's just my opinion, of course. But I was like, what are they talking about?
I don't know when the producer's cut, initially came out, but I think it was years later. And I think it was because people were just so outraged by this movie and the idea of Thorn and all that shit that they would grab onto anything that was different from it and be like, well, this is better over here. The producer's cut's better because, well, it explains the Thorn thing a little better. It's like, well, it doesn't really need to be explained more. We just need more of what we want, which is Michael Myers. And so, yeah, it in my opinion, producer's cut not better. Is it entertaining, worth a watch if you like the Halloween franchise? Absolutely. Definitely seek it out.
Oh, you know what? You know the tagline for this movie?
No, I actually don't this time. What is it?
Well, for once I know it. And 6 times the terror, 6 times the fear, 6 times the thrills.
Oh my!
I shot him 6 times.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's what it should have said at the end of that.
Yeah, no shit. Halloween 6. I shot him 6 times.
Yeah, 6 times. I got a kick out of that when I saw it. You got to be fucking kidding me. 6 times the thrills of what?
It's not even called Halloween 6. They dropped the number and just called it The Curse of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And they were toying with different titles like Halloween 666, I think.
Pulling the old shit.
Yeah.
People,
6 years ago, Halloween night, Michael and Jamie vanished. Many people believe them dead, but I think that someone hid them away. Someone who keeps Michael, protects him, tries to control him. And if there's one thing I know, you can't control evil. You can lock it up, you can burn it and bury it and pray that it dies, but it never will. It just rests a while. You can lock your doors and say your prayers at night, but the evil's out there, waiting. And maybe, just maybe, it's closer than you think.
Well, let's get into it. Right off the bat, this movie has, again, a completely different feel to the open that the other movies have. We're in an entirely different world with this. It starts out, I believe the opening scene is we get Jamie Lloyd back, played by some other chick, who seems to me like she's in her early 20s.
I would buy that, sure.
Yeah, okay, and she's giving birth. So, okay, so how old was Jamie Lloyd in Part 5?
Jamie Lloyd in Part 5 was, I believe, 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Let's just say she's 9. Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Now she's 15.
And this movie is 6 years later.
Yeah, she's playing a 15-year-old straight
15.
up.
15.
The fuck up.
Yeah, and she's giving birth. So you're pregnant for 9 months. So she got knocked up when she was 14.
Yeah.
Which is nuts to me that that was going on. And in the producer's cut, it's also revealed that Michael is the father of the baby. I don't know if you remember that little tidbit, but
no.
Holy shit, yes.
And I wasn't sure. And because she starts off, they had that little voiceover in the beginning. First, they had that. I do like the opening credit sequence better than 5 for sure. It's fucking creepy. It's just kind of an ominous beginning. It's dark. It just says Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. It's just a little darker and a little. I don't know. I just definitely prefer it to 5. But
no Shreem in the background.
Yeah, right. Nothing. No, none of that shit. Fucking black screen and cool shit. The guy says the fucking thing. Michael Myers killed at the age of thing, and they show the fucking thing, and then they show Jamie, and she's running. It's a real fucking confusing beginning. I don't know if the first thing they show is a baby crying, but you hear Jamie saying, "Michael, don't hurt me."
Yeah.
It's like they kind of teased up on it, but didn't actually say Michael was the father. But the producer's cut just fucking straight out comes out and says it.
It's at the end, yeah. But she says, Michael, you're the father, and he kind of if he freezes in his tracks, and also there's a flashback of the rape, and you don't actually see him raping her, but you can clearly tell she's being forced down, and he's approaching her. And it's just, oh my God, I can't believe they even went there with this.
Wow.
And why they would even do that. Okay, let's just break down what Thorn is. It's a cult, a druid cult. Thorn is a symbol, and it represents a demon of sickness and destruction or something like that. And so what they do is they do sacrifice to prevent any kind of, the demon permeating into their society or anything like that. They force children, I guess, because they started out with Michael at a young age, and in this movie they're trying to get, this little boy to kill, for them, to sacrifice family members for Thorn, which is a demon. Is Thorn a demon? I don't fucking know. This is confusing as shit.
Thorn's the curse, I believe. I believe Thorn is the curse, and
okay.
The constellation of Thorn comes out on Halloween night. Sometimes, not every year, but sometimes it comes out, and it's a constellation in the stars, and it's an ancient druid thing, and one family in the society of something got the mark, and if they got the mark, they had to fucking be killed or something, or they had to do the killing. Bottom line is it's sacrifice. It's sacrifice for the betterment of society. Somebody fucking has to spill blood, and somebody has to do the spilling. So,
Yep, and it's always on Halloween, like you said, when the stars align, to a certain point. It's always on the night of Samhain. And you know what? It's funny because in the movie, I forget who says the dialogue, probably Tommy Doyle. He's talking about the previous instances when Michael went on a killing spree, and and that's when the stars aligned. And he lists every year that there was a Michael Myers Halloween movie out.
Oh, really?
Except for Part 5. He's like, in 1978, these lined up, and then in, whenever Part 4 came out, was that in 1988, and then he skips right over Part 5. It's pretty
no
funny.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they do that in the theatrical. I don't recall them. I could have fucking been not bored and not paying attention to his whole spiel, but yeah. I don't recall him saying that. I remember him talking about the constellation, and that, strangely enough, sometimes it is present on certain Halloweens, but not all of them, and that explains why he does it on that night. So
yeah.
I think he summed it up quicker there. I don't think he actually brought out years in the theatrical. Or in the theatrical.
In the theatrical. Yeah, you're right.
So Jamie, let me say this. He's chasing her, trying to kill her for 2 movies. Part 4 and Part 5. It's the whole last movie was all cat and mouse. He's trying to fucking kill her. That's what we're led to believe, at least.
Yeah, whenever he wasn't going to a barn party just to kill random teenagers and cops. But yeah, you're right. He wanted to kill her, yeah.
Suddenly, he doesn't want to kill her. He wants to fucking... They want her to make a baby.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked
for
up.
the sacrifice? Because, they want to sacrifice her baby?
He's going to be the next Michael. Every once in a while, a special baby is born. It's one of them situations. It's fucking...
Oh, my God.
This baby is a combination of think about it now, because they're already psychically linked. But then they don't come out and say it's Michael. But they're just saying that it's Jamie's child.
Right.
And this baby's going to be special. This is... Michael can't do it forever. It's the passing of the torch. This baby is going to actually do...
Yeah, I can just see a baby killing someone. God damn it, baby! Put that knife down!
It's going to be Michael's psychic. All 3 of them, for that matter. Michael,
get the fuck away from me, baby! Oh, that's okay. So this makes my head fucking hurt.
I hear you.
Because none of this is really, I think, laid out. It's all kind of, it's hinted at and spoken in lines really quick, and it's just like, it's kind of dizzying, to try and get all this information. And especially because there's 2 cuts in the movie, like we just talked about, one has different information than the other. And I don't even remember some of the shit that happens in the theatrical. I just watched the producer's cut. So I'm going off different information, and you're going off different information. So it's dizzying. Holy shit, my eyes are crossing. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I hear you.
One thing I do like about this introduction is the introduction of Michael himself. We see Jamie running down some corridors, and she's being assisted by a nurse. Yeah. And she has her baby, and the nurse is helping her escape. Well, then the Michael steps in, great Michael Myers fashion, picks this nurse up and then slams her head up against the wall, into some spike, where she's left to hang. That was a great introduction, I think.
I agree. He even did the old school head tilt. They called it like Part 1.
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed that. Then the chase continues with Jamie, finds a truck and gets in it, and Michael ends up killing the owner of the truck. And so she drives off with her baby, and then Michael pursues in a car chase. I love it anytime a slasher movie with a slasher has a car chase. I mean, Michael drives more than any fucking slasher in fucking movie history, dude. He's all about driving, and he's been locked up since he's like 8 years old.
That's the best part, right?
Yeah, it's like he shouldn't be able to fucking drive, but he drives more than any fucking body, any slasher in any fucking movie. It's great.
I guess they figured that they got away with it in Part 1, so now they can do it anytime they want. Solely because he drove in 1, it gives the other directors and scriptwriters, some fucking wiggle room.
And speaking of Part 1, this movie does everything in its power to seek out all of the dangling threads, I guess, from the first movie. Any character unused since Part 1 is a fucking main character in this goddamn movie. Okay, we got Tommy Doyle. Okay, we've got Dr. Wynn, which, if you guys don't know, he was in that scene that we're kind of alluding to, where him and Loomis. It's a 20-second scene, but they're talking about how Michael escaped and how he fucking drove away, and maybe someone gave him driving lessons. That's Dr. Wynn. He's back in this.
He was doing very well last night.
That's right.
I think it's cool.
And also we have a new character, but it's someone who harkens back to part 1, and that's Mrs. Blankenship.
Yeah,
and she apparently was Michael's babysitter the night he killed his sister. Holy shit. If I wasn't fucking head spinning with the Cult of Thorn shit, now they're dumping all of this shit onto this movie and being like, hey, remember you love fucking Halloween 1. It's still here. Even though this Cult of Thorn shit's going on, it's still Halloween. Remember? Tommy Doyle. Whether it works or not, it's fucking nuts. Mrs. Blankenship, holy shit, she's a fucking whack job. He hears the voice,
Yeah.
Michael heard the voice.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Okay, so she runs a halfway house that Tommy Doyle stays in now, which is this blows me away. Which is right across the street from the old Myers house, which now is inhabited by the Strodes.
I think it's cool.
Okay, so the Strodes, that's the brother-in-law to Laurie Strode. Is that right? Or the uncle to Laurie Strode?
Yeah, I guess it would be the uncle to Laurie.
Yeah, the uncle to Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, lives in the old Myers house. Right across the street from Tommy Doyle. Holy shit, these people never get out of this town? What the fuck?
John, I want you to come with us.
You know, Deborah, you've lost it now. You know that, Deborah? You've just lost it.
The reason you moved us into this house, your brother could never sell it because of what happened here, could he? And you knew. And you didn't tell us, John. You knew.
Well, the Strodes, it's alluded to that they're in real estate in part 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the brother's in real estate, and, Laurie's father, I guess you would say, and then more family members. The father of this family is also in real estate, and it comes out later. That's why your brother could never sell this house, because it was the Myers house, and that's why they moved in, because they couldn't sell the house, so they probably got it on the cheap. Or
no, they couldn't sell the house because it looked the way it did in part 5. I mean, it was a fucking war zone. Of course nobody wants to live there. I mean, they finally cleaned it up, and then they just moved in themselves. It's fucking crazy. Okay, so this family has a daughter who's just recently come back to live with them. And I don't want to say she's like the black sheep, but her dad definitely doesn't approve. And she herself has a son, I guess a bastard son, who's about 8 or 9 himself. He's around that age. He is getting visions, or he's seeing the men in black, and he's saying, kill for me, Danny. Kill for me. And all this stuff. These visions, they're more elaborate in the producer's cut. I definitely remember that. I remember the theatrical cut. It's more quick editing and stuff like that, where you think it's just his vision. But in the producer's cut, it seems more so that the man in black is actually in the room with him, talking about him. It's crazy. This plot is so fucking thick. It's hard. I'm waving my hand trying to clear the smoke here. It's fucking insane.
How come he's trying to recruit this little boy, Kilferman, when they're having this daughter, or this baby, which I believe is a girl, right? It's a girl? I don't even know. Either way, Jamie's baby comes in the mix. I thought that was the one that's going to be groomed to be the next one. So, why I didn't think about it when I'm watching it, I don't know. But as soon as you said that, I'm like, what the fuck? So who's going to be the killer? Who? What are they? Are they just grasping for anybody? Maybe they're just, they're saying that one of the two of them is going to pan out. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. See, and the way I took it is they were grooming Danny to be a new Michael Myers, and they want to sacrifice Jamie's baby. Isn't the sacrifice supposed to be within the family? Like Michael, his sister, Michael, his niece. But like the Strodes and the Myers. Wait, is that the Myers? Oh my God.
I'll tell you what though. It popped into my head. One family, somebody's cursed from one family and he has to fucking whack his whole family. That is correct. That's
right.
Why Michael does what he does. So what are they just saying? Well, we just need more bloodshed. So let's have Jamie have a baby so Michael can kill it too. And I thought they were grooming the baby. Maybe I'm just way off. Maybe they want Michael to kill some more people. And I don't know. It's not a bad movie. It has a lot of strong points, a lot of good things going for it. It looks good. It's the best filmed one in quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I like what they do with the music. They kind of update the music, but it's done. They remix the old music, but it's done right. It fits in the era that it was filmed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they did some things. They made some changes, but Michael still looks good. There's good gore. There's things going on. There's just, once again, too much fucking shit piled in to an hour and a half.
It's too convoluted of a plot that is also not really fleshed out.
Right.
To make it understandable / entertaining. I think you and I are saying the same thing. We like the chase that is Michael and a victim. All that stuff works to me in this movie. Right. Anytime there's a kill scene, anytime there's Michael in the shadows, it always works. It's this Thorn stuff that comes in, and all these characters that are connected with that make it just way too confusing, and it just drains all the fun out of those good scenes. I think you and I are kind of saying the same thing with that. Yeah.
It's just we're just as confused as the fucking movie is.
By the end of the movie, they're all wearing hoods. They're in fucking. They're in a basement, corridors. It's like they got their own facility and stuff like that. If it was more like Rosemary's Baby, all those old people in the apartment complex were in a cult essentially, but they weren't like fucking wearing robes and fucking had a fucking temple that they went to and shit like that. It was more scaled down, and so it seemed more believable. But these guys are fucking like, these are the real deal. This fucking Thorn cult, man. This is like a fucking cult. Holy shit.
Cult of Thorn. That's great.
It was Jamie Lloyd.
That was 6 years ago, Sam. You'd know she died with him in that explosion. You know it.
That's what someone would like us to believe. But I tell you, Michael is alive. I can feel his evil heart beating. I can see him just as I did all those years ago, behind these very same walls, staring, always growing stronger. Please, as my colleague, as my friend, I can't go through this again. Not alone. I need your help to stop him.
Let me throw something in here, because the place they have is fucking, what do you call it? It's Smith's Grove. It all comes out at the end. That's where they are, and fucking Wynn's behind it, and the people are dressed up because he tries to play it off in front of the regular. Basically, Wynn has cult members and regular doctors working for him not Haddonfield Memorial, in Smith's Grove is what's going on, really, because there's that scene at the end and that's where it takes place. This whole movie, the finale is at Smith's Grove. There's a situation, and some guys have robes on, and he jokes about it. He's trying to play it off. It's after we get the reveal that it's him, and he tries to play it. He goes, "Okay, guys, you can take off your you can take off your robes now. Halloween is over." You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's playing it off. So basically, my guess is that underground in the movie, like in the intro, which we're on now, still the fucking Jamie thing and the baby and everything else and the escape, that I'm going to say probably takes place in maybe the basement or something. Mm-hmm. Because the one girl's a nurse, so it only makes sense that she's working at Smith's Grove. They delivered a baby. They're, you know, I guess they deliver babies at the sanitarium. I don't fucking know.
Well, in the basement they do. You know, that's where you keep babies, you know, in the basement. Murderous babies.
So that's what they do. And I guess that nurse works for them because she tries to get out.
Yeah.
You know, but then she pussies out. She's like, oh, now I'm going to stay, you go. She's in on the cult, or she's aware of the cult. She's working for him. So I don't know how she figures into the equation, but I just think that it's all of Wynn's influence on the sanitarium. And that's why he gets Loomis to come back in.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. So when Wynn is introduced, he meets up with Loomis at his home, and they have their first meeting again. And Loomis is looking rough. Holy shit, he's knocking on death's door.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of embarrassing.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Unfortunately, but Wynn wants Loomis, even though he's retired, he wants him to take over for him at Smith's Grove as the administrator of Smith's Grove because Wynn is retiring. But what he's really saying, and they elaborate this at the end of the producer's cut, is that I need you to take over and be Michael Myers' guardian because I don't want to do it anymore, essentially. Because that's what he does at Smith's Grove. He oversees this whole fucking Thorn cult thing. He's like, he really doesn't want him to work at Smith's Grove. He wants to transfer this position in Thorn to him because the way he looks at it, the way he probably looks at it, I'm just speculating here, is that he's obsessed with Michael Myers anyways. Why not be the guardian of Michael Myers or something like that? So
I think that he just gets close to Loomis again because he wants to find Jamie, and he knows that Jamie is seeking out Loomis. Because as soon as Jamie flees, he knows. He's like, well, who's she going to go to? She's going to go to Loomis. Who the fuck else does she have? She's going to go to Loomis. So I think he basically, because, he's retired. He's doing his thing. He's sitting around, and everybody in the entire town listens to the same radio show, apparently.
Oh, of course.
It's playing in fucking Loomis's place. Fucking Laura Strode, Cara Strode is fucking listening to it. It's playing at the fucking bus depot when Jamie gets there later, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But everyone's listening to this fucking show. It's it's the hottest thing going. This fucking Barry Sims cat, and so this show's playing. Jamie escapes. So my guess is that that's the obvious choice. He just wants Loomis. He wants to go to his house and say, hey, why don't you come out of retirement and help me out at the fucking hospital? Whatever. It's not really elaborated that much in the theatrical. That's what I got out of it, that he knew that she was going to seek out Loomis, and he just wants to get her. That's what it's all about.
I think it's a bit of both, just because, you're right. You got two different cuts. One elaborates more on it, one doesn't. So both scenarios kind of work and makes sense to me.
Right. Yeah, it does. I hear you.
Mm-hmm. But I do like the little tidbit of how they talk about how Loomis has no more scars. And he's like, well, I had skin, cost a fortune in skin grafts, but I don't have the scars anymore. Goddamn well, it's just he's an old man. He's not going to sit down and get this fucking makeup on his face anymore. No fucking way. He's true. Like, you need to write these fucking scars out of the script. I'm not going to fucking do it.
When Michael Myers was 6 years old, he stabbed his sister to death. For years he was locked up, locked away in Smith Grove Sanatorium. But he escaped, and suddenly Halloween was another word for mayhem. He needed to wipe out his entire family. He struck them down at night, and always on Halloween. The police tried everything to stop him. He overcame them all and disappeared. The world thought him dead, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure that Michael Myers had died.
Like you said earlier, Jamie, she drives to the bus station. Does she drive? Yeah, she drives to the bus station.
Yep.
She ends up calling Barry Sims, the fucking radio DJ. The fucking, it's clear this guy is like a Howard Stern ripoff.
Absolutely.
And I think in 1995 is really when Howard Stern was just starting to fucking peak, become really big. He's clearly a knockoff of that.
Right.
And he's doing a whole show about Michael Myers, and you got all these fucking whack jobs calling in that want to... I do like that bit.
I do,
You got
too.
all these people calling in, and they're like, I want to sleep with Michael. He's so sexy. And they even talk about it. They're like... They mention Michael Myers going to space in one of these fucking phone calls. You're right.
Oh, you're right. They did say that. I heard they sent him in space, and then someone said there's a fucking it's a conspiracy theory going on and something else. Oh yeah, you're right though.
And he's like, Michael Myers in space. I'll believe that when I see it. Fucking like that's fucking awesome.
Oh shit. Yeah, you're right. They do say that.
Yeah. So she calls this DJ. Just because it's being played in the fucking bus station.
Yeah, well, she couldn't get through to 911. The power outage, and she got denied there. So he just happened to give out the number. It was the next best thing. So
she calls that. She's trying to fucking get a hold of Loomis.
Of course, he's listening.
Yeah, of course, Loomis is fucking listening. Tommy Doyle, all the key players are listening. Fucking
you name
Mrs.
it.
Blankenship is probably listening to this shit. Oh, I gotta listen to my DJ Barry Sims show. I love it.
He's got fans of all ages. He's got fucking 8 to 80. He's got everybody lined up. Old ass fucking Loomis listening to a show like that.
Loomis, in the cut I saw, I don't know about yours, he said that he's taping the fucking show because he's talking about Haddonfield and Halloween and all that stuff. Because when he wants to go somewhere, he's like, oh, it's fine. I'm taping this. I'll listen to it later. He's dubbing it to cassette, this fucking guy.
I'm taping it. No, I don't think he says that, but that's pretty funny.
Oh, my God. That had me cracking up. So, the chase continues with fucking Jamie, right? She just leaves.
Now, here's the funny thing, yeah.
What happens there to make her leave? Yeah.
Now, she goes in, she calls, and then, Dr. Loomis, are you there? That whole fucking thing. And how about Jamie? How about the fact that it's not Danielle Harris, by the way?
Yeah.
Do you know the story behind that?
I think it was about money. Is that right? Just a money thing?
And you know what they were going to pay her? They offered to pay her. They offered to pay her the same pay they paid her when she made Halloween 4. Which was 8 years earlier.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it was... I don't blame her. I mean, come on. She's fucking... integral to the series. People love to see her back after 4 and 5 being, 6 years older and definitely a cute girl,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, that they only offered her fucking the same amount they paid her in part 4, which,
That's a shame.
Yeah. It is a shame.
But that being said, I really do like this girl who's playing her. I don't
she's okay.
think it's bad at all. She's good. And I think
she is good. I mean, she's older than you want her to be, but
she looks 24. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, yes.
Instead of 15, is that what we came up with? 15.
Yeah, 15.
Crazy. Oh my God.
So Danielle Harris probably would have been 15 at the same time, maybe a little older. I'm not sure, but it would have worked better with her for that reason also. But yeah, she did look a little old, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But she's in there. She makes the call, and then Michael somehow gets in, and you remember she's hiding in the bathroom stall.
Oh yeah, You see that whole thing of him pushing the doors open and stuff like that.
And then it's actually kind of decent because it's a little suspenseful. It kind of reminds you of the scene in the original Maniac. When the, in the bathroom in the New York subway. Yeah. And he's pushing the thing back and pushing the thing. And you think she's there, and then you see that she's out the window. And then the next shot, she's cruising away. And then... then I think they cut to Loomis maybe or something else. And they come back to it, and he's following her. And I'm thinking to myself, it's really convenient. There's a lot of fucking abandoned vehicles here.
Yeah, no shit. Right. I'm commandeering this vehicle. Who are you? I'm Michael fucking Myers. Do you have some identification? This fucking knife. Shut the fuck up.
Right. Now, the first girl, honestly, how about Jamie? She just gets out of the fucking asylum or whatever it is where they're sacrificing or the baby's being born. And in her initial escape, she runs out in the field. She hops in this guy's truck. And the guy says, hey, what are you doing? And she's trying to tell him that fucking Michael's behind him and everything else. Then he gets whacked. But I'm like, what the? He just happened to fucking leave the keys in the ignition. I don't think she hotwired the fucking thing. You know?
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, he got out to fucking take a piss or something. Who knows what this fucking guy was doing. But he gets a good neck crack.
Yeah.
This guy does, which is always good. And when it's done right, it's always good. So.
Right, yeah, they at least they went with that. Yeah, it was good. And then we'll get to the gore, but there was a little of that. Not as much as it was supposed to be, but whatever.
She gets forced off the road, and right there I'm thinking, holy shit, I hope that baby is in a goddamn car seat because the car is fucking going nuts, and she fucking crashes. It's crazy. And then we get a nice little chase in a barn or something like that. Now, this scene is definitely different from the producer's cut to the theatrical cut. In the theatrical cut, it ends in glorious, bloody fashion, and I think it's fucking great, dude.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
It's a little out of character for Michael because I think he throws her on this like farm equipment or something. And then she's like reaching out to him, like, you know, help me. And he kind of puts his hands up and reaches out to her. It's kind of out of character as to what Michael would do. And then he like thrusts her down. I think it's totally badass, and it fucking looks great.
Because then he turns it on.
And
then he shreds her up some more. Yeah, it's good shit.
But that's a little out of character for him. But it's fucking awesome, and I'll just say it right now. This is my banana split of the movie.
You read my mind, yeah.
Yep, I think this part is great. It's definitely an improvement upon the producer's cut, which in that all that happens is she gets stabbed by Michael, and it's not graphic. You don't really see anything, and she's just left for dead, and it makes no sense why she needs to be alive anymore throughout the rest of this movie, because she does nothing. She's not important to the plot whatsoever. It made sense just to kill her right there, and why not do it in a fucking gory fashion?
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Jesus, crank it up at this point. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, why did they do that with her? They had her die in a hospital, and it was uneventful, right?
Well,
what the fuck is this?
She goes to the hospital. And it's not really explained. You see her get taken away, but she's not like talking or anything. She's unconscious. So you think that she is dead, you know. But then later you see her like in the hospital on life support. And what happens to her then is that the man in black, who we find out later is Dr. Wynn, comes in, says, "You're no longer needed, Jamie," and then shoots her with a silencer.
I think it's cool.
Like wah wah wah. Like what the fuck? It's lame. It's boring. Why is it dragged out? The way they do it in the theatrical cut is a big improvement.
Now I'll tell you what though, what you said about Michael, it is out of character for the original Michael Myers, absolutely. Because I don't know if you're saying it's out of character because he's like fucking with her, like I'm gonna help you, and then he's gonna push her, or the fact that he's okay. Well then yes, then I agree that is out of character. But if you were, I was, going to say, if you were saying that it's out of character for him to almost bond with her, that kind of calls back part 5 with the teardrop thing.
But he's not doing that because he's
like... You think he's just fucking with her?
He's mocking her.
Right, okay, I agree. All right.
You know, that's what it looks like to me. And then he pushes her down. You know, he doesn't give a shit. He's mocking her pain and stuff like that.
Okay, I think that too. I just wanted to make sure that that's what you meant, because if you were going the other direction, I was going to say, well, the teardrop in part 5, but no, I agree with you there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is mocking her, and it is fucking out of place.
We were introduced to the Strodes, of that night. Whenever we got Tommy doing a peeping Tom act into
yes.
Who I guess is our main character. It's kind of the final girl, I guess, is that Kara Strode, the chick who has the young son and who's now moving back in with her family and trying. I guess she. It's never really explained, but she's coming back home, essentially. She has a bastard son. Her dad is a fucking prick. Yeah. Holy shit. The next morning at the fucking breakfast table, you want this guy to die. Yeah, you want him to be thrown on that fucking farm equipment. And, I mean, you want him to die so bad. And we get a nice little bit here where her son... what's his name? Danny? Yeah, he's standing up, he's threatening her, or something like that, and he just has a knife.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
To his stomach, and it's kind of shocking because everyone just freezes. They don't know what to do. Why is he holding a knife there? Clearly, he's just defending his mother, but at the same time, he's seeing visions, or he's being talked to by the Man in Black and all this stuff. So. I did like that element, and you want this fucking guy to die so bad. Definitely. You want him to die right there. So he's a prick.
Yeah, man.
Jinx.
Fucking, on the beer. He's fucking he slapped his daughter. He called his grandson a bastard.
Yeah.
He's motherfucking his wife, saying this and that. Give him more of my money. Here, take it all. Fucking.
And his poor wife, I mean, she is just a helpless little fucking... Yeah. I mean, she has no backbone, and that's just a shame.
Well, she puts up with it. It's classic shit. You know what I mean? And what are you going to do? But she still tries to help her daughter, at least by giving her some cash. And then the other kid's undisciplined. Fucking Tim.
Yeah. Now, he has... Yeah, this family is so big. There's so many characters. People are in, they're out. People are related, they're not related. It's fucking. There's just too many people in this fucking movie. The Strodes, the fucking Myers. Oh my god.
I was only 8 years old when I saw him, but I was one of the lucky ones. I survived.
There is help out there for people like you. It's called electroshock therapy. Come on, you don't really believe that Michael Myers is actually alive.
Michael's work isn't done in Haddonfield, and soon, very soon, he'll come home to kill again. But this time I'll be ready.
Yeah, so we get to go back to Tommy Doyle. He pieces this shit together. He Encyclopedia Browns it together through the radio show. He figures out somehow, because of the speaker played on the radio show, that she was at the bus station. Right. So he goes there to investigate. And there somehow finds the baby that was there all night. Okay, I get that she could leave a baby there, and because there's nobody there at night. But when he goes there,
there's people there now.
It's a bustling fucking bus station,
right?
And there's fucking blood all over the place.
There's fresh blood, and nobody fucking has seen it. He stumbles upon it because he goes into a phone booth and he follows literally a trail of blood to the fucking bathroom. Nobody had seen it until he got there.
Maybe they fired all the janitors in this fucking place. I'm pretty sure janitors get there like first thing in the morning before anybody else,
right? Yeah.
To like clean up. That makes sense to me, but
yeah. And then the baby's crying in that fucking thing. Nobody fucking heard that baby. Come on, a baby like that, abandoned's not gonna cry all night long. It's been probably 12 hours, right?
Oh yeah, easily. And
yeah,
it's something that's ridiculous. It should have been written better, but it is what it is. does he know that it's Jamie Lloyd's daughter? Does he piece that together?
I think so. You know what? I don't know if that information was ever.
I don't think so.
Released to the public. So no, but he knows of Jamie Lloyd.
Yes.
You know, she's discussed, and they say it on the radio show, and I think she says that it's Jamie Lloyd. Dr. Loomis, are you there? I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't quote me. I don't know, but I know she asked for Loomis on the air. Either A, she said it, or B, he pieced it together. But that's the thing. That's his role in this movie. Tommy Doyle has become Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah.
Basically. You know? That's the role he's playing.
A very poorly acted Tommy Jarvis by Paul Rudd. Holy shit.
Yeah, right?
This is like his first movie role, I think.
It is. It's introducing Paul Rudd. Correct.
He is, going for it, man. He's overacting so bad in this fucking movie. It's comical. His line readings are just fucking astonishing how over the top he goes. It's fucking crazy.
He's not meant to do serious roles.
No, not like this. Right. No, and so he takes the baby to the hospital.
I need to see a doctor.
What seems to be the problem?
It's my baby. There's been an accident.
What kind of accident?
Get me a doctor now!
Security?
Just yelling at dude, calm down. You've been here 2.5 seconds.
Right.
Slow your roll, okay? There's a protocol that you have to abide by. You got to fill out this paperwork. He's like, fuck this paperwork. Yep, holy shit, it's Loomis. Hey, Dr. Loomis.
What's he doing there? What is Loomis doing at the hospital?
Well, I'll tell you why he's there. Because because in the producer's cut, that's where Laurie Strode is taken because she's still alive. In the theatrical cut...
Oh, you mean Jamie. Okay.
What'd I say?
You said Laurie Strode. I'm like, what?
I meant I meant Jamie Lloyd. Yeah.
Jamie, okay. Fair.
Yeah, Strode, Lloyd, Myers.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Okay, so Jamie Lloyd is taken to this hospital. Oh, but you see in the theatrical cut, it makes no sense at all. That's the first thing I thought.
Right.
What the fuck is Loomis doing at the hospital?
He's just there, I think. Yeah.
That's what I said. This guy's fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
First
he just shows up.
He's at the children's clinic in part 5. He's at the hospital in part 6. He's the fucking man about town. He's gangster. He runs the fucking town, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. He's like, what? I live in Haddonfield now. I'm here. That's what I do. He just fucking hibernates until fucking, he smells Michael Myers. Fucking Jesus Christ.
And the funny thing is, he tried to retire. He even said, very much retired. But then, as soon as Wynn shows up, he's talking to him. He just happens to have Michael's shit basically in his lap. He goes, my past is all here in the manuscripts.
Because he's reading it. He's jerking off to this shit. He can't get enough of it. Oh, yeah, fucking Michael. Yeah, stare at that wall. Look through the wall. Look past that wall, Michael. God damn it. Your rage, yeah.
The rage.
The rage!
Yeah.
Rage!
Yes, this time he's doing it. We thought he orgasmed at the end of 5.
No, he's doing it now, yeah.
He's got the fucking papers and everything ready to catch his fucking shoot. He's ready to go.
Oh, brother.
So, yeah, where the fuck? So, Loomis is in the hospital.
Yeah, and then
Tommy Doyle!
Yeah. It's me, remember? I'm Tommy fucking Doyle.
Tommy recognizes him right away. He's up behind, but... he is a pillar of Haddonfield now, So.
And Tommy is so immersed in Michael Myers' mythology and lore and all that stuff. He's, wow. What would have been interesting, maybe not, I don't know, but if they were setting him up to be the next Loomis, in the next sequel, it would have been Tommy Doyle. He's like, I'm not a doctor, but I got a gun and I can yell about rage and the blackest eyes and all that shit. I'll do it.
Passing it on to him. But the thing is, there you go. He is Tommy Jarvis. He's part 6 Tommy Jarvis, basically. Yeah. Part 6 Tommy Jarvis is the fucking poor man's Loomis.
I think it's cool.
You know, I think I said that in the
true. Yeah, you did. Yeah,
that he's a fucking. You know, all of a sudden he's like Loomis. He knows everything about Jason, fucking Crystal Lake, everything. That's what they did with that part, and now they're doing it again in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, the best way to explain Paul Rudd's performance is like the guy's fucking tripping on acid the whole movie.
Yeah.
Really, he's bugging the fuck out. He's really intense. He's fucking the way he describes everything, the way he talks. Really, it's like this fucking dude is, you know. But granted, he is in that halfway house or whatever it is, so he's not right in the head either. He's a little.
No, definitely not. He's a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
And after, you know, they needed a crazy, you know, protagonist character because Loomis is too old to really be that crazy anymore. He's just shuffling around the whole time. You know, he can't like, you know, grab a hold of people and scream, "Where's Michael? Where's Michael?" You know, that's Tommy's job now.
Right.
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah.
Yep. He's the muscle, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
How about the Thorn symbol? Was this in the producer's cut? Because it was in Theatrical's cut, and it makes no fucking sense. And they really should not have put that in there. When they go to they see some haystacks, and fucking the Thorn symbol is burned into them.
Yeah, where they find Jamie Lloyd
there
has
you go.
been killed. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why they're there. The cops are there, and of course Loomis is there. Wherever the cops are, Loomis is there. He says he goes that's his mark. He says, "What the fuck? Really? That's his mark?"
Bullshit.
I thought he just wrote Sam Hain on chalkboards.
Right.
What the fuck?
Bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cops. He has some interaction with the cops, and the cops nowadays, they're not having any of this guy's fucking bullshit.
Bullshit.
Oh, that's
you
it.
know, yeah. He can't boss the fucking cops around anymore. You know, they're just like, yeah, whatever, old man. They're not having it. They finally wised up. Holy shit.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Much smarter cops in this movie, especially in
Yeah.
Part 5. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no clown music. Holy
Right.
shit.
Thank goodness.
This force, this thing that lived inside of him came from a source too violent, too deadly for you to imagine. It grew inside him, contaminating his soul. It was pure evil.
What makes you think he'll come back here?
This house is sacred to him. He has all his memories here. His rage. Mrs. Strode, I beg of you, don't let your family suffer the same fate that Laurie and her daughter suffered.
Okay, Loomis then goes to the fucking Strode house, right? And fucking scares the shit out of Mama Strode, you know, meek Mama Strode. And, oh my gosh, yeah. He basically, you know, comes in and just talks up this whole thing, you know, and scares this woman half to death. She immediately calls her husband, and I fucking love this interaction. Is it this part? There's some line that the fucking father Strode gives where he's like,
"You've lost it now. You know that, Deborah? You've just lost it."
Yeah.
Is it that line where they're talking on, "You have fucking lost it,"
Yeah.
and then he immediately hangs up and just starts drinking. He's like, "Oh god damn it," you know.
Yeah.
It's like this guy, fucking.
He's busted, man.
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
This guy, the doctor from Part 2, the fucking the groundskeeper from Part 1.
The further adventures of Loomis and the groundskeeper.
We got some great drunks in these movies. Who else? Tom Atkins in Part 3. I mean,
yeah, of course.
You know,
yeah.
there's all kinds of alcoholics in these movies. The fucking Halloween series just loves them. Oh, Reverend Sayer from Part 4.
Yeah,
Bam.
Reverend. You're chasing
Holy
it.
shit.
Yeah, you're right. But wait a minute. Was the guy a drunk? The groundskeeper? Was he a drunk or was he not? He's just assumed to be a drunk.
I'm just assuming. I think.
Okay, fair enough.
It fits that kind of character.
It does. That's true.
So yeah, very shortly after, Loomis leaves, and we get a really fucking cool scene where Mother Strode, whatever her name is stalked by Michael. And I really enjoy this scene because this is one of the moments where they do callbacks to part one.
Right.
And for instance, she's on the phone to her asshole of a husband, and she's walking back and forth, and you see Michael in the background as she passes by, and then it comes back and he's not there. Very reminiscent of Annie making the phone call in her underwear in part one. Maybe she wasn't in her underwear at that point. I don't know, but
yeah,
in
she
part,
was. She
in
just
part
had the
one,
thing over. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's very similar to that, and I thought that worked very well.
Yep.
Then you got it's a little cat and mouse in the house,
right?
And then it leads outside, and this part I love, and this is what
cool.
Danny was talking about. Danny B, daytime. It was Danny, right?
Yes,
yeah, Danny
was.
B talking about daytime kill. I like this because she's lost in the hanging laundry that's drying out there, and that also harkens back to the moment from part one, the infamous moment where he's staring at Laurie Strode.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Because of the laundry and the line and the white sheet, and absolutely.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, definitely cool. And you know Michael's gonna pop up. She's scrambling. She's a fucking mess. It's a cool scene, and she finds him. She looks up, and there he is, and he's standing there in great fashion, and then he fucking baseball bats her face with a fucking axe or a hatchet.
Enough! That is Michael Myers bullshit!
I'm assuming it's the one that the father used to. At the beginning of the movie, they had a fucking Michael Myers sign.
Yeah, and he's chopping it down, pissed off. Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this Michael Myers bullshit. Oh, that's a great fucking line right there.
He's full of good lines. He's a frick character, but I'll tell you, he does bring something to this movie.
Oh, he's definitely a character that you want in this movie. We hate him, but it's great for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Yeah, so she dies in horrendous fashion. This just backs up, everything that we're saying. I love this scene. I think it works great. Yeah, it calls back to part one, big time, and there's no Thorn shit in it. It's just Michael. It's just Michael doing what Michael does. And that's why it's good.
Speaking of callbacks,
between
fucking Tommy Doyle when he bumps into little Danny, and Danny drops the pumpkin on the ground and the pumpkin smashes.
Oh yeah,
looks at him sympathetically because that's what happened to him in part one. Yeah,
another brilliant callback.
Yeah,
here, it definitely works. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that scene was great. I
I don't
know
if everybody noticed it or not, but it was cool, clever.
Yeah, and I think it was around this time we're seeing Men in Black and Thorn people in the background, and seeing vans and stuff like that. It's like this whole fucking cult thing is really a big deal. How he stops Michael at the end is with these rune stones, and basically freezes Michael in his tracks. And I thought about it this time, and I was like, well, maybe those are fucking Stonehenge pieces.
Stonehenge.
I think it's cool.
Bullshit! You've just lost it.
Or something like that. It's the power of Stonehenge that stops Michael at the end. And I would, if they would have elaborated on that and connected it to 3, that would have been so fucking awesome. I'd bow down to Thorn. If they fucking connected it that hard to fucking part 3, I would love Thorn. I wouldn't complain about it at all.
Yeah, I hear you. Wow. Because once again, that doesn't happen in the theatrical. I don't know a dick about the Stones. So
yeah, well, it's a good thing because it's pretty stupid.
Yeah. You want to talk about Beth and Tim?
Yes. Okay. So they have this whole subplot of some town gathering that they're trying to start. I don't know if they start it, but basically the entire town has abandoned Halloween. right? And for good reason, because holy shit, people getting killed all like just fucking forget it. Nobody's doing this Halloween fucking bullshit anymore, you know. So
right. Yeah, she's basically spearheading the whole thing. She's pretty fucking intent on it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Beth.
Yeah, and she has an agenda.
Yeah.
And she gets Barry Sims to come, you know, and all this shit, and she has an agenda to, I don't know, fucking get Halloween back.
Basically,
yeah. Like she just why don't you just move? Haddonfield seems like kind of a lame place to live, anyways. Move to Chicago. It's probably not that far away.
That's true.
Jesus.
Yeah, but they've grown. Remember what I just said? The economy's been booming. They got the Haddonfield Memorial. They got the Haddonfield Children's Clinic.
Yeah,
fucking, you know, they're much bigger than they were in 1978. This isn't your fucking your old man's Haddonfield, you know.
This ain't your granddaddy's Haddonfield. Shit, but you know we're at night now, and the fucking dad comes home all blasted drunk, and he cannot stop being a fucking asshole.
Oh, he's great. Dinner, right?
Yeah, yeah, like wow. You're a fucking prick. But yeah, he and this was another scene that was elaborated more in the theatrical and to grand fashion as well, because he eventually works his way downstairs for whatever reason and
powers off. He's trying to
that's right. And gets killed by Michael. You know.
Yeah, finds the blood in the bloody sheets in the washing machine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. What? Yeah, wait a minute. Cool. Wait, so Michael was doing the laundry to cover his tracks?
I don't know.
He's like, oh, shit, I have a body. I have fucking bloody sheets. I gotta fucking wash these motherfuckers. Where's the washer and dryer? Holy shit, I've never pieced that together. That's right. Fucking insane.
I think you threw a small dog in the laundry. That's what that was all about. You didn't kill him yet, you know?
Where's that fucking dog? I need to kill a dog.
You just
I have to.
Scooped up a chihuahua and threw it in the fucking wash with the bloody sheets. That'll do it. All right.
Done. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, so
Michael and that guy, that's a good ass fucking scene. I mean, it's ridiculous, preposterous.
It is so ridiculous. Yeah. But it's awesome. I mean,
right.
He gets electrocuted until his fucking head explodes. That doesn't make sense, but hey, I'm going with it. Why? Because it looks fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, it does. It explodes like the fucking Death Star, too.
The Death Star.
Boom! You almost see fucking stars shooting out of it. It's out of control.
And that doesn't happen nearly that graphic in the producer's cut. Yeah, he electrocutes him, he stabs him, or I don't even understand how that works really, but but his head does not explode. So
oh, really? So
no, his head does not explode at all. It's just you see he's just electrocuted essentially, and that's it.
He froths at the mouth a little bit, right? And, and his face gets a little bubbly.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Good effects, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gore, it's what's his name too? It's fucking John Carl Buechler. You know who that guy? He directed fucking Friday the 13th Part 7, and he got chopped to hell. And
okay. Yeah,
he's done a handful of well-known genre movies at that time. So he's good makeup effects.
Okay, yeah. He did the effects. Okay,
but he got cut, and the producer cut the Gore. There was the big thing about it. There was all kinds of conflicts. The writer and director had conflicts, and it was a big. For the first time, that's one thing about this movie. It's a Dimension movie, and it's is Miramax the head of it, or is Miramax is the major company?
It's the Weinstein Company, probably. I think.
Well, there you go. This is the first major studio release of a Halloween movie. It was always independent before.
Huh.
So yeah, it became a big deal, and that's why shit hit the fan at the end, because they showed the movie to fucking test people, to test screeners, and it was like kids, like 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, and they didn't like what they saw, and they ended up going back and recording a third of the film after the test screening, because they got a bad fucking reaction from young teenagers. They let them fucking decide the fate of the movie.
Dude, test screens. I mean, sometimes it helps movies, but and it helps this movie, I think.
Well, who knows?
You know, so
we're talking about what a method is with so many different things going on. Maybe it was better maybe they explained Thorn better the first time around, and the test audiences didn't fucking like it. Yeah, but I saw it. They were talking about the documentary, and it was funny because of all people, Rob Zombie comes up and he was talking about test screeners and how they played him to teens, and he goes, "What the fuck?" He says, "What does he say?" He goes, "If you would have shown me, Jaws when I was 14,
yeah,
I would have fucked that movie up. I would have said, no, do this and this and this, and I would have ruined the entire movie."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's true.
No.
Yeah, so
cool.
I don't know.
Moving forward, they with the whole party thing aspect, the town meeting, whatever the fuck this thing is that these kids are trying to put on, they don't film it well. And it's supposed to seem like there's a lot of people there and stuff like that, but they never get any kind of like wide shots of what's really going on in the town square. And so it's supposed to seem like there's a lot of people there, but it almost seems like nobody is there.
Yeah, it's like a party. It's a glorified party.
Yeah.
Kids on the front lawn, fucking whatever.
This is the Barry Sims Show. And when we return, we'll be coming at you live from the one, the only, Myers house. How's that for a Halloween shock fest?
Yeah, and so this is where we get the introduction, the physical introduction to Barry Sims. Hello, Haddonfield.
Yeah, that was played off well too.
Yeah, this guy is a whack job. It's over the top and shit like that. But I mean, it was an interesting character to have in this movie. Mm-hmm. It went nowhere after he's introduced because they get up on stage, they do this little rigmarole, and where she interjects her agenda. Right. And she's like, "Well, my boyfriend lives in the fucking Myers house." Right. She knows that she's baiting this asshole, and he takes the bait hook, line, and sinker. Who wouldn't?
Then you see he's an asshole behind the scenes, and then as soon as you see that out, he's an asshole in front of the camera, and then behind the camera, and then by the time fucking you find that out, he's whacked. That's the end of him.
Yeah, and the only reason he dies is because he gets in the wrong van. He gets in a Smith's Grove van.
Oh, you're shitting me.
No, that's because I was watching it this time, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I know he dies in this scene, but why? Why would Michael do it?
Oh, he just grabs a random fucking van and
it's because he's talking on his phone, and he's preoccupied. He goes to the parking lot. He probably showed up in some production van, but he happens to get in the van that Michael was driving, which is a Smith's Grove van, and you see it on the side, and Michael just happens to be in the back, and so then he kills him. He's like, "Well,
okay,
you're dead." Yeah,
you've explained it, because I was gonna say, why the fuck was he waiting there? To kill this guy. What the fuck does he care? So, well, at least that explains that. What happens after is ridiculous. That he puts him in the fucking tree.
Why? It's still in the middle of town square, and nobody saw him do that.
Right?
I don't.
Yeah, and that dumb little girl. It's raining. It's raining red.
It's raining red.
Mommy, it's raining. The fuck? What's wrong with this? Is she the fucking one on acid? Holy fuck! She's just sitting there spinning around. Mommy, it's raining red. It's warm. What the fuck? And this girl's old enough. Who the fuck acts like? My daughter would never talk like that. She's 7 years old.
I can taste the colors, Mommy. This was another thing that they changed from producers to theatrical, which I don't really get. They changed her dialogue. I think in the producers, or one of them, she's singing a song that's to the tune of "He's Got the Whole Wide World in His Hands."
Really?
Yeah, and I think that's producers. Yeah, she's singing the song about it raining. I wish I could remember, but I can't. Yeah, and then they change it to the theatrical to her just saying, "It's raining red. It's raining red." She's not singing at all. So I thought that was a strange choice to change that.
He was tied up in some shit, look like Christmas lights of all things. He was tied up in a fucking tree with lights or something, and I don't know.
It's
right?
Christmas now. It's fucking. It's black. It's the Black Christmas remake. All of a sudden, Billy. Yeah. The two kids, Tim and his fucking bang trough, his girlfriend. They go back to his place, and then they go upstairs and they start to bang.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, wait. Didn't you guys make plans to have this DJ come back to your house and do like a radio show?
It's a callback to part 1 again. It's spontaneity. They fucking go here to do this. Fuck it. Let's fucking, let's fuck.
I think it's cool.
I guess,
on your sister's bed,
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. I just found that strange. But then,
it is funny. I hear you. It is strange because the people be coming over, a film crew or whoever, a guy in this thing, and they're up there fucking. That's true. That is funny.
He's thinking, he's telling her, he's like, I can rattle this off in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
It'll
right.
be
Let's
quick,
go. We've all been there,
And then I know that they get killed shortly after. But I recall the older sister, Kara, she's over at Tommy's house with her son.
Right.
Tommy's peeping Tom, telescope or whatever. She sees them get killed, I believe. I don't even remember how this happens. I just know it happens, so it must not have been that interesting.
Yeah, I forgot. I think he gets killed in the shower, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. But yeah, and then he sees her. She sees her in the bed. She calls him up. She calls her up on the phone. They're talking. As she's talking to him, she goes, "There's somebody behind you." And then fucking she tells her to get out. And then, she's stabbing her in the back. It's actually kind of a decent scene.
The Druids were also great mathematicians and astronomers, but the Thorn symbol is actually a constellation of stars that appears from time to time on Halloween night. Whenever it appears, he appears.
Hey, yo!
So now we're thrust into the final chase, or sort of the final act, let's say, because really there's not that many characters left. I watched this last night, and I'm drawing blanks here, but they somehow get back to Smith's Grove, right?
Well, hold on. No, here's what it is.
What's happening? Yeah.
This is exactly what happens. They are at the halfway house, Mrs. Blankenship's place.
Okay.
And they're there. Loomis is there, and they're all there. Some shit started to hit the fan, and then you hear a voice, and he's calling over the little boy.
Yeah.
And then,
kill for me, Daddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they get in there, and then he reveals himself.
Yep.
To be Dr. Thorn, I was going to say.
Dr. Thorn.
Dr. Quinn. And he's like, what the fuck? And then, then Loomis is surprised by it. And then it's really weird because I don't know how it is in the producers, but all of a sudden, a few minutes later, you see Tommy Doyle and Loomis, and they're like in the front yard walking around. And actually, they made a play on it. Somebody fell off the fucking, I think Kara Strode falls off of something and lands on the ground.
She jumps out the fucking window.
It's a situation. That's
to get away from him.
It's like the end of part 1, though. They play it off that way, where there's a little imprint in the grass, and she falls, and you expect her to be there. And then next scene, you see Loomis and Tommy Doyle standing there. It's the same situation as the end of part 1 or beginning of part 2, whichever. And she's not there, and they're confused as to why. And then someone says, "Oh, I think we were drugged. I feel something." So they just sum it up that way. That fucking what's his name drugged them. Loomis tells Tommy, Dr. Wynn is playing a game, and I know where he wants me to go to for the conclusion of the game. So he just knows, okay, we're drugged. This is some type of fucking thing he's doing. Wynn wants wants us all at Smith's Grove to fucking conclude this. So we're gonna go, basically.
The reveal of Dr. Wynn being the Man in Black,
right,
is, the reveal is fine. Just the idea, though, that this old guy who's like, it's like your dad, I can't picture this guy walking around town with steel-tipped cowboy boots and a fucking trench coat and a cowboy hat. I don't. It just doesn't.
Right.
It just doesn't fit for me. It doesn't. It's clearly not his style, But they had to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought of? The whole Men in Black look reminds me very much of who's the guy from Friday, the Final Friday? Fucking
you're right, Creighton Duke.
Duke. They're like the same guy. Fucking trench coat, cowboy hat, fucking whack job. You know, they're like the same fucking character.
It was a knockoff of fucking the Man in Black. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's funny.
Now, this is where the differences between the producer's cut and the theatrical cut are their biggest. Because this is kind of where the movie really goes Cult of Thorn in the producer's cut. And Michael Myers is almost a second. Once you reveal that Wynn is the Man in Black, Michael Myers is fucking basically in the background the entire time. He doesn't matter, because from then on it's about Cult of Thorn and what they want to do and their plot to, I don't know, kill people, for sacrifice. And so at Smith's Grove, there's a lot more of people in robes and fucking they have the baby and all this stuff, and there's a lot more to that. Now, I don't even remember the theatrical cut, but I think Michael Myers is more at the forefront at the end. Is he not?
Well, yes and no. He has the chase scene going on, so yeah. But it's like it comes up in conversation between Wynn and Loomis, because he charges into Wynn's office and he's waiting for him. And then he says something to him, and he goes, I was beginning to think you weren't going to come, I think he said. And then Loomis is there, and they're talking, and he goes, I thought Michael was the monster, but you, he said. It was a situation, He was basically saying, that's where I got that idea from, that they were trying to replace Michael. He says something in that speech he's talking to him about. He's like, why? And he talks a little bit about it, and then, he says something about it, and so then he's basically alluding to the fact, he says something about Jamie's child. So that's where I get that idea that was the one being groomed, but I don't know. It's so fucked up the last 15 minutes. So much shit. There is a good chase. Michael chasing, and what's her name's locked up for a little bit. Kara Strode's locked up along with the boy.
Oh man, it's tough. I know there's a small chase at the end of producer's cut. Tommy uses the fucking rocks, like I said, to just lay them out, and stop Michael and get away. I don't fucking fuck. I'm drawing a blank as to what happens with Wynn and everything. So
I do know what happens in the theatrical. I know that they go there. Tommy Doyle is trying to find Kara and Danny. So basically Michael is assigned to fucking prevent that from happening. So he's still there. He's basically chasing Tommy Doyle while Loomis and Wynn have their fucking little discussion, whatever. That's what's going on. So Tommy's trying to find out, and he walks down the hallway and he starts hearing Kara Strode. She's calling for him. She's calling for help, and he's trying to figure out who it is. Then he grabs something and he starts fucking pounding away at it. Michael's walking slowly but getting closer and closer to him. They're doing that shit again. The room number, there's actually a number on the fucking door because it's a sanitarium, So you probably don't know because you don't remember. But
yeah, I don't.
Okay.
237?
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Holy shit.
237. Yeah, very good. Holy fuck. Yeah.
Hey, love The Shining, man. Love it.
There you go. Isn't that something? They must have done that intentionally.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, huh. I didn't catch that.
Never noticed it till the other day.
Huh.
So he's trying to get in there, and then something happens, and there's an operating room massacre. It's like they're trying to push him away, and they're trying to do something with the baby or with Kara Strode. I think the baby, and they're bringing the baby in there, and they're trying to do something, and then fucking something happens. Michael's chasing them, and then he abandons it, and he goes in the fucking operating room, and next thing you know, there's doctors and fucking nurses and blood all over the place, and Michael just massacred everybody, and it's not really explained why.
I don't think that happens in the producer's cut.
Okay.
maybe it does. Like I said, I'm kind of foggy now.
Yeah,
because it gets so thick into this Thorn shit that I just want Michael to chase somebody, and that's it. You know, so I guess I kind of tuned out at that point, and that's fine because the producer's cut really just falls apart at the end, in my opinion. It's not exciting. You know, the last 20 minutes is rather kind of dull, and how they dispose of Michael is fucking so stupid. You know, that they would stop him with rocks and nothing physical at all. He lays rocks on the fucking in the hallway.
Oh my god!
And Michael can't move anymore. Like, and then they just walk around him like, well, see you later.
That's fucking terrible.
It's fucking stupid. And then, you know, the very end, I know, is much different from the theatrical and the producer's cut. It has, you know, the kids with Loomis, and they say their goodbyes, but Loomis is like, nice. I can't go with you guys. I still got something to do. And it's like, what the fuck do you have to do, old man? Jesus, just let it go already.
Never.
And he goes back in to where Tommy froze Michael, and he's now on the ground, and he takes the mask off, and it's Dr. Wynn. And Wynn is still, he's alive, barely, and he says, "It's your game now, Loomis." And then you see the fucking Thorn symbol appear on fucking Loomis's wrist as he screams, "No, no," you know. And then you see Michael walking away down the hallway dressed as the Man in Black, like fucking Loomis is now, you know, bestowed to be the fucking caretaker of Michael Myers. What the fuck is going on? You fucking went off the deep end with this one, motherfuckers. Holy shit.
Wow. The theatrical wasn't much better, but we still get that
I
chase.
remember that. Yeah, it's not as much better, yeah.
We do get a good chase scene at the end, and Michael's chasing, you know, fucking Tommy Doyle and Kara and the little boy Danny and that whole situation. And there's one moment where he's gonna go after Kara, and then what's his name calls out, and then Danny calls out, and she's like, "Mommy, mommy!" And then he turns around, and then he goes to the boy, and he gets stuck in this thing, and then basically Tommy Doyle just beats the shit out of him with this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What is it? A wrench? A pipe?
A pipe, I think. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
But he bludgeons him, and fucking he's going off, and fucking he gets him down on the ground, and you know, the assumption is he beat him to death, which is kind of shitty to fucking have Michael Myers with a beat down from a pipe. But that's that's what, you know, they're alluding to, is that's what happens, because he fucking takes it, and he finally throws the fucking pipe on the ground with authority, and then like, take that, motherfucker. That's like the way he threw it down. Like, there you go, you know. And then that ends. It cuts from there, and the same situation you said when they're talking to Loomis, and they say, "Why don't you come with us?" And he says, "No, there's something I got to take care of here." And then all of a sudden, okay, all right, see you later. See you on the other side. Whatever.
You're right.
You know.
See you on the other side.
You know. And then fucking, he goes back in. He walks in. Next thing you know, that they pan down to where Michael has just had his beat down. Michael's gone, but the mask is still there. And then I think there's some blood on the floor or something. And then you just hear fucking Loomis, "No, no!" And a little commotion, and maybe the sound of a knife. I don't know. And then credits roll.
Bam. Yeah, I do remember that. They don't really explain shit as far as they just had to reshoot it, and they probably didn't have fucking Donald Pleasance back to refilm anything.
What a shame.
It's terrible that this, that's his last on-screen role.
Right?
And,
yeah.
You know what? I just pulled up Wikipedia, because since I'm drawing so many blanks on the ending here, and listen to this. I don't remember any of this. Maybe you do. Okay, this is at the end. Inside the lab, Kara notices tanks containing human fetuses with a chart of runes and scientific letter codes. Both connected together by the Thorn symbol. It is vaguely implied by Dr. Wynn and his cult have been secretly trying and failing to genetically breed evil beings using Michael's DNA and female patients of the institution.
I think it's cool.
What?
Wow, I bet that's more elaborated on in the producer's cut. But I do remember.
Okay, so they want to breed evil now? I thought the Thorn cult was trying to stop evil with sacrifices. Now they want to breed evil? This makes no sense. Maybe this fucking Wikipedia page is wrong, because I don't fucking remember any of that, but holy shit, I probably just blocked it out.
I do remember her seeing something, though. She did see something.
Okay, you do. Huh.
Yeah, and I didn't really pay much attention. It just seemed to be something that was there, and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, it also says it is vaguely implied that Dr. Wynn and his cult were trying to do. And again, this is also Wikipedia. Anybody can edit this shit.
Right. I do want to go back and look, though, because something did happen. She did look, and there was like the Thorn symbols and some other symbols, and there might have been some things in fetuses and glasses, now that I'm thinking about it. But I don't know. I could be wrong, or I could be thinking about the producer's cut. For whatever reason, when as you're reading it, it kind of, it jogged my memory a little bit, but not enough to say anything for certain.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter which version you watch. This movie ends with it ends like the last movie. It ends with a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, the ending is not satisfying whatsoever, and it's a shame, because this movie, I think we both agree, has lots of good beats in it, lots of good moments, but none of it is cohesively tied together with this fucking Thorn shit. It seems like they just threw everything into this movie to try to explain Michael, and it just doesn't work. And maybe it's a problem with too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing. Like you said, it's under a different production company. You got everybody putting their fucking 2 cents in, even 14-year-olds and shit like that. So that's probably the main problem with this movie. If it had more of a singular track, singular thought,
right,
it would have came out much more smoothly.
You're right. There you go. That's big studio shit.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Where before they probably weren't fucked with that much.
I'm glad that they brought Michael back in a satisfying fashion. They made him, scary again, and the mood of the entire movie is good. It's something that they had lost with the other sequels. But this whole Thorn shit falls flat on its face.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Sad but true. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. It's too bad. They had to do something with the man in black and that symbol, and who knows? Maybe when the guy originally wrote it, it was more cohesive, and when they changed shit at the end, and like you said, too many cooks in the kitchen and everything else. And I could see why people were motherfucking and bitching it at first. To see that at first, after seeing all the Halloweens prior, which are just basic slashers, and to turn it into that, it would be kind of, shocking at first. Mm-hmm. So I could see that upon your first watch, but it's really not that bad.
Let's go ahead and rate it. I mean, overall, it's confusing, but if you're gonna sit down and watch a fucking Halloween sequel, this one isn't that bad. It's got enough good moments in it to elevate it, especially after coming off of the other ones. I mean, a lot of people talk about how Part 4 is a better sequel, and really that one did almost nothing for me.
Right, I hear you.
But this one, I get more enjoyment out of it, definitely. Now, does that mean I like it? Not necessarily. Do I really like it? No. I think I gave Part 4 a 2. For this one, I would say 2.5. To me, it's definitely better, but at the same time, I'm not just absolutely thrilled to be watching it every time. You know what I mean? It's not. I wouldn't say I like it, but it's definitely an improvement on Part 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's strangely enough, once again, I had the same rating. I've had it written down on the paper since I watched the other night. It's 2.5. It's right in the middle of liking it and not liking it.
Yeah.
Which is the best way I could say. It's not bad. I'll plug it in and watch it occasionally. I'll definitely watch it over 4 and 5. No question about that.
Yes, me too.
You have a banana? You peeling somebody back here or no?
No, absolutely. I would go with the gal who plays Jamie Lloyd. I don't know, something about that short hair for some reason, but she's definitely the cutest girl, I think, in this movie. There's no, like, overly hot chicks in this whatsoever or anything. I think most of them are kind of, average at best. But if I had to choose one, definitely her.
I kind of have a thing for Kara Strode. So.
Really?
She is pretty cute.
She is fucking skin and bones, dude. Doesn't she fucking like take her shirt off at one point? It's like I think I see her rib bones and shit.
She's cut nice. I don't think she's too skinny though. I don't think she's like anorexic or anything. That bad. She's definitely tight. She got. Yeah. To me, I think she got a pretty tight, proportionate body. She has small tits, but proportionate with her body. She's just a small thing, And I think she's got a cute face. I like her hair. I don't know. I think she's attractive. I've always liked that girl.
Huh.
Kara Strode.
So yeah, fuck, that pretty much wraps that up. See ya, fuckers.
Be kind. Please rewind.
Happy Halloween, everybody!